my first 3 green days, from Thursday till Friday.
Do you mind if I record this?
Yeah, no, I don't mind at all.
Okay, perfect. So we have here, I'll just do the quick intro. We have
Yeah.
an amazing guy that actually reached out to me in inbox, and my lack of tech issues. I'm like so shocked. I'm able to now hear the audio. I'm able to record. So the previous audio was really bad, and now he fixed it up for me. Now it's like mind-boggling. I don't have to close the OBS. You guys can probably hear his voice now. It's no longer has that issue, and it's a really cool feeling. So thank you very much, Ark. I appreciate it, brother.
No, it's it. Yeah.
Thank you. And before the recording, he was saying that he's been trading since 2008, and he's been in multiple chat rooms. And
Yeah.
so tell me about your trading style and.
Well, actually, I'm a bit experimenting. So I tried long because I had the fees of shorting. It wasn't working, to be honest. And lately, I find a lot of consistency on shorting. It's not a
Shorting
lot. I think,
small cap or
yeah,
big cap?
no, small cap. Trying to avoid the big caps and everything that is involved with algos,
Yes.
because I don't have the experience, man. I mean, let's be honest, it's that thing. So trying to, do things, not the, I cannot say it, uh, not the top hot names that are playing. I'm trying to
The second. I do that too. That's one of my things.
work, yeah, on
When
the
people
background. Oh,
when people don't watch it, that's when it's nice. The only day
yeah,
when I get involved is when I know from a fundamental aspect, uh, when I know that things are are working.
yeah, exactly. And if it's crowded, it's never gonna go the way you think, or based on your stats, it's gonna work that way. So it ruins the whole thing. So yeah,
Well, I think the overhead would play a part in it as well. So
yeah.
if a stock had an overhead, I'm trying to think of a recent one, a VVUS.
Hmm.
You're wait, are you still able to see my screen?
Yeah, I'm looking at this screen
Oh
now.
snap! That is so cool. So now when I do this, people can see the screen. That's
Yeah,
amazing. That is so
yeah,
cool. So I can hear you, people can hear your voice, and they can see the screen. Damn. If that's not
yeah.
magic, I don't know what is. Okay.
It's nice.
So the beautiful thing
Uh,
is now it stopped working. The int it's not loading.
the, the problem is you don't have any data. You wanna, any accounts or anything on this screen,
Ah,
right? You can see
no.
on the left, right side corner there. I know. You don't have anything you wanna share with everyone else.
What?
You don't, any account details like username or things like that, or PNL that might show up now, right?
No, no, no. Thinkorswim is just my charting platform.
Oh, okay, that's
Anyway,
fine.
it doesn't matter. What I was gonna show you, VVUS, I think it had the overhead was really high,
Yeah.
and but it still failed. So let's go. So like again, and I'm sure if you've seen other trading videos, it's what are what's your average hold period and what's your accuracy?
Oh,
Do
I'm
you have
I'm
those
scalping.
statistics? Scalper?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I'm scalping. I don't leave it more than an hour. I mean, and if I don't see it like going down, and I think the best thing for me at the moment is the execution part. If you execute it properly, then you are on the right side. It's not always easy, and yeah, I don't think I'm holding them more than an hour, max 2 hours, but that should be like going down and just making lower highs. That's the only reason I might keep it.
Do you use TraderView?
Yeah, I do. And now I'm just learning to work to do my own indicators with a Pine script, which is awesome, by the way.
Okay. And in your how much data do you have on TraderView?
Oh, not a lot, man. I mean, probably like 100 charts or something.
So in TraderView, you have 100 entries.
Not on Trader. No, I've never traded on paper trade on Trader. I'm just using it as a charting software only.
No, no, no. Okay, sorry. So you're talking about TraderView. I'm talking about the statistical tracker, TraderView.
Oh, sorry, man. I'm trying.
Here,
Yeah, no, I'm
do you,
using Trading View.
okay, yeah, yeah.
No,
Have you
no,
used this website?
no, no, no.
You should. 100% you should.
Mhm.
How long have you been trading for? An active trader?
Well, probably like a year now.
Do you have stats? Which platform do you use?
Trade Zero, I can't use anything else because, due to the location fees
Oh,
and
okay. So TraderView, you have 1 year of stats. Okay.
ish.
You definitely make this account, upload it in
Yeah.
here because
Yeah.
it will show you a lot of really cool things.
Hmm.
And if you don't mind me asking, uh, are you profitable? There's nothing wrong with being not profitable, nothing at all.
Oh,
But
no,
the goal
not
is
at
to,
all.
okay. So the
No,
goal
I'm
is to
not
find out
shy of it. I
what,
mean, I don't mind.
okay, perfect. So the goal is to, we gotta figure out with honesty and truth, why is that not happening? Is it
Because
risk management? Is it not proper plays? Is it random? Is your bigger
no,
winner than your loser?
I've never had a playbook to focus and keep my stats and also, of course, management. But if you don't have a playbook, I
Hmm.
think it's very important to know the setups that are happening. And honestly, I've been a bit, when you go to the trading rooms and these chat rooms or Momo, whatever they
Hmm.
are,
Hmm.
you get a lot of noise and distraction, and you're just following the crowd.
And what chat rooms did you say you were in?
Well, I've been to MIC. I've
Okay.
been to Investors Underground too.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's it pretty much.
Okay. And you were there for a while. And so let's talk about Playbook. So do you think Playbook is one of the issues that you're having?
Definitely, if you don't have a defined setup and you're just chasing what everyone else is suggesting, it's like
Oh
fucking.
yeah. It's horrible. Horrible.
It
If
is.
you I guess it's been so long, but yeah, you have to make your own plays.
Yeah,
You have
I
to make your own
definitely.
plays. So let's work on that. Let's
Hmm.
talk about what playbooks would interest you. Do you have any idea what would like? Are you a long player, short player? Like which trades have been profitable? Because if you've seen any of my videos, I always preach that we you have to play the things that you're good at.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Well, I've played long, and I find being more profitable on shorting. Don't know why, but yeah.
okay. Um, can you give me a bit more detail, like which one you short, why do you short, about your entry, just so I get a gauge of where we can build from.
Hmm. Uh, I'm shorting the first red day,
Okay,
uh, waiting for that if it happens, because sometimes it takes time to develop. I'm also watching stocks that are 3 or 4 days green big uh, on the daily chart and waiting for the day they're gonna fade.
okay,
Uh, Also, I'm aware of the T plus two, which means that the shorts that are holding from the first shorting day, their shorts will expire. So that's like a squeeze at some times.
right, okay.
Um, and shorting the parabolics. Let me open a recent trade. Did
Open up recent 3, 4 trades and don't try to be selective on the good
no,
ones or bad
no,
one. Just send whichever ones. And
it's
what we're gonna do today, because you said playbook is an issue, we'll try to run over some of the playbook that is uh, much relatively easier. I'm gonna
mhm,
give you some general playbooks. You can build off of it.
yep.
But feel free to send, and while you're sending, I'm gonna try to think of some of the plays that. we played.
Give me a sec because I haven't used Discord in a long time.
All good.
Let me open the window here. And also something else that I've noticed with my trading is because I've learned how to use the hotkeys, and uh, it tends to make me overtrade.
Hmm.
I mean, I've done all the mistakes that everyone is talking about: overtrading, chasing, you name it. I've been there. I feel it. I've you see, trying to work with this one. So what I did is I stopped the Trader Pro version, and I'm working on the web platform, which I don't have hotkeys until I get the the orders. I'm just using limit orders now, not chasing anything. If it comes to me, it's welcome. If not, just I'm leaving it alone.
That's good, but make sure you have a hard stop. So I'm gonna
Yeah,
tell you
yeah.
one thing that you're gonna have is yes, playbook, and the next
Okay.
step issue you're gonna have is risk management.
Mm-hmm.
90-95% of people fail because of bad risk management. 90-95% of people fail.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's unfortunate my thinkorswim doesn't work at the moment. But what I'm gonna run over something because you said playbook, so I'm always trying to give what people have an issue with, because we
Mm-hmm.
could here talk about a bunch of other crap that's more interesting. But at the
Yeah.
end of the day, the objective is to go where you feel your weaknesses and how help could be made. So what I do is you're able to see my screen, right? Still,
Yeah, 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 I do.
okay. So every day, I just copy pasted this. Ignore all of this, but what I do is I break out my watch list in day one and day two. Day one, relatively ignore that. The reason for that is because if the stock has overhead supply, blah blah blah, that's the stuff that's day one. Day two
Mm-hmm.
is something that you mentioned, and I always try to connect with what you resonate with. So day two, when nobody's watching, or when I had a parabolic and it closed weak and it's like it's about to top out, those are
Yeah,
the plays that are day two plays, and those are the nicer plays.
yeah.
So an example for that, I just went back and I looked.
Mm-hmm.
It's really bad, but like PSTI or MFAI in like 3 days ago or something like that. So PSTI, if I am not mistaken, so if we can see, this is day one, right?
Yeah,
TraderView, and use this website. So TraderView goes to 5, and then it closes at 4.
yeah.
And then what happens is it's something like this. So what I do is day two, if I see, so playbook. Uh, with everything in trading, there's always exceptions. Nothing is black and white. If it was,
Right.
algo would take over and we're fucked. So
Exactly.
in here we have a day one, which has done a lot of volume. I don't use this website, so you have to maybe educate me. I don't know what the heck the volume is here, but it seems like
Uh,
big.
yeah. If you go on the left corner, you see the volume. Yeah, go up on the left. Left. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Go to settings. To the yeah. Open it again. To the three dots. Sorry. Go to the three dots that it has there.
Okay.
It says move to below.
Below.
Let me, let me see. Move to. No, no. Go there to move to again. Close that one. Go to there. Yeah. Move to new panel below. That's your
Okay.
volume.
Okay. So the volume is 4 million. Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
So day two plays. Day two, what happens here, bro? So one of the playbook is make sure the second day volume is weaker than the first day. So this
Right.
I consider the meat to be the meat. I consider this to have a meat like still move. Like I could expect this. Oh, maybe it could get here, right? So if
Yeah.
it pops here or somewhere, I look at that. So this is one thing that you should write down in your playbook.
Right.
In my opinion, when we have a high relative volume day, day two, if it opens within that range, if it opens around here and the volume is weaker, and I'll give you a pro tip. The first
Mm-hmm.
15 minutes to 30 minutes, I compare that volume to yesterday's volume. So if you want to build a script or if you want to build something,
Yeah.
okay, you send me some shots. Okay.
Yeah,
So
that's my PSA play on the first day, Green Day.
Okay, perfect.
I thought I believe yeah. We'll go to that later. Sorry to
Okay, no
yeah.
worries. So on the second day, you can build something that just compares the relative volume to yesterday, the day before.
Right.
And
Yeah.
this is something that I use, and I don't. I'm very open with it, but I don't just tell anybody. It's just I. Well, actually, I don't care. I tell people. I don't mind. So long
Mhm.
story short, that's one of the playbooks that I have. High
Yeah.
relative volume, day two, when the relative volume is weaker than the first day. And a lot of the times, it's always healthy. It's a good behavior to understand why it happens. And the reason for that is as you progress and grow
Yeah.
into understanding fundamentals and things like that, you
Yeah.
will see
Same.
that there's a balancement. The demand, the amount of volume trade is the demand, and the
Hmm.
supply, the overhead and things like that, that's the supply. So if this had volume, this is a bad platform. You should use TOS if you could. I have some friends that have access to whatever. Even in Europe, you can get it, but that's another day story. So what
Yeah.
happens here that it doesn't show is I bet the volume profile level is somewhere here,
Well, it does.
455.
If you go to indicators, yeah, there's volume profile and oh yeah, you don't have the provisions. That's why. Yeah,
Okay.
I can see the volume profile. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So your playbook. This is day one. Day two is this. If this
Yeah.
opens around
Okay.
here, I'm not touching it because look, man, like from here, it's gonna go down here. So what I'm gonna look at is maybe
One
let's
minute
say
chart.
5 minute or 15 minute
Yeah.
if it shows.
On the lower corner there, there's something that's called EXT, is the extended. You can see the after and pre-market. No, no, not
Oh
there. On
no,
where the
that's not a
clock
problem.
is.
That's not a
Okay.
problem. That's just here.
Okay, cool.
Uh, so April 30th. Guess this
Yeah, that's
is this day
fine.
two?
Yeah, that's day one.
This day one?
Yeah. You
April,
don't have
May,
like that
March.
data. That's why it's a bit. It's not correct. It wants you to pay more. That's why.
Okay. Anyway, the point is, so
Yeah.
it comes here. You short it. I based on just looking at this, I'm willing to bet the volume profile is between 460 and 430. That's where the volume is. So
Okay.
if theoretically it gets around that, it washes.
Right.
So why does this playbook work? One, it's weaker volume. Second, when it gets to this level, psychologically, everybody that was long was hurting, and then it gets
True.
there and it washes. So one thing I always have, who's hurting at this trade? Is it short or long? And how is the volume situation? But
Right.
if so, that's one scenario. That's a playbook. Feel free to go back. I'll record this and put it on YouTube. Hopefully, it comes across as nice. Or if you want to make your own notes, that's cool too. And I'll tell you another scenario when to avoid it if it's beneficial. So let's
Quick
say,
question.
but one
Is
second.
there a is there a percentage that goes up? Or...
No, no, no. I don't do that. Some people do.
Okay.
Some people, statistical traders do, and things like that. I'm an old school guy. I've been trading for
Oh,
12 years. My philosophy is always about understanding.
all right.
So
Yeah.
I'll tell
Okay.
you this: if it pops around 450, 460 around this area, and I see the tape at this level being weak, I take a short. I take a
Hmm.
short. My entry exit would be 460. I usually use 3, 4 entries to enter and maybe more, and I add to winner. And now we established this is a playbook. How do we determine if the playbook is bad and it's worse? So some days if it opens here and then we see that the 5 and 15 minute or the 5 minute volume, hypothetically, like this is 30K. No, it's not 30K. Is that 30K volume?
No, it's not. Let me tell you exactly how much is it. It won't show you the yeah, because you don't have the proversion, and I have live data for that. So you want which candle exactly?
Um, I guess I'm not used to using this platform.
You want the uh,
I'll just give an example. So in this, let's just, can you see my screen, right?
230K are those bars there. Yeah.
230K. Okay, perfect. So day two, now I told you what the ideal situation is when the volume is weaker And when you do comparison volume, it's weaker, then you take a short position.
Okay.
And when do I avoid it? So let's say hypothetically these candles are not accurate. It's 200, 300K. If I
Yeah.
see this pushing with a 500K, 600K candle, and it comes back like 600K candle, and it's like twice as strong as the other one, which means it's relatively
Hmm.
stronger than the other one, then I would not, I would be hesitant to take the short. And
Right.
another myth, because the demand is bigger than the other. So if I'm taking a short, I'm a bit more cautious. I'm gonna wait till it starts topping out. I'm gonna look at the action because it could forego the previous one. The other metric is if, so the high here is 518. The
Hmm.
next day, day two, this opens at 550. It opens at 530. Even if the volume is weaker, or if it opens at 550, 560, the volume is much weaker than yesterday, it doesn't matter. It should not matter. And when if we do the sample over 1,000 period of time, and this is not
Hmm.
from statistical, but I'm pretty positive that statistical would back it up. But at the end of the day, we have to understand why is that. If this was a technical chart play, and the next day it opens above 520, it opens at 550, 560, shorts are hella bent. There was a lot of shorts that were holding this, and it's going to, oh, this is a piece of shit stock. It's going to go down to $2. I'm going to make et cetera money. So they're going to hold on to that. So even if the volume is weaker, it will still go higher. So this
Hmm.
is one playbook for your short.
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing I do is because I did on the when I shorted that after the second halt. If you can see the chart
Oh,
around.
I
Yeah.
see. Yes.
But as I said, it's scalping. Short, take profit, reshort, take profit again.
But man, if you're not quick with this is not a play that I would recommend. It halted 3 times back to back. If you're not quick, you would have gotten stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where should my stop have been there? At the top or a bit above of it, or I don't know.
Your stop should have been where you wouldn't get hurt at all if you take a loss.
Right.
So
I see
that
what's
is
the.
a lot more important than
Yeah.
trying to pinpoint where it is because sometimes you could count for slippage. Okay, this is not a play. If you were to make this play 10,000 times, do you think
Right.
you would be profitable?
No.
No, why not?
Uh, yeah. The reason is ECOR did the same thing, and I got stuck there.
But why
The same
wouldn't you
exact.
be profitable if you take this trade 10,000 times?
Because it would be stopped out, I guess. Because of scalping, not holding.
Right.
Yeah.
But like, how do I say? Do you see any problem with like if this play came on 10,000 times and you took the same thing? Like, what percent of the times would be profitable? Any idea? Or like, what's the issues here? We're not just talking about this trade. We're trying to understand what's
There is
good,
no
what's
volume.
bad, and why.
There's not liquidity or something.
Yeah, it halts like crazy, right?
Mm.
Especially, no offense, you are a person that's starting, you're doing one entry, and I can just see based on the trade here, I don't see what the price action is, but like I could see that if you were using the top as your risk,
Yeah.
it would, and your cover was much smaller. Cover was much
Yeah.
smaller than the top was. And the other thing is, bro, this is a stock. The reason why you will be unprofitable, in my opinion, if you were to play this 10,000 times, this feels really cool. But excuse my language, fuck the feeling of feeling cool. If you
Yeah.
were, this halted so many times, it could have easily halted up and you would have been
Another one.
stuck. You would have been easily stuck. I bet
Yeah.
you anything there were shorts that were stuck here. The one before, they were stuck here. So there's no concept. I mean, yes, this is a beautiful short entry, and if you were to ask, well, what is the thing for the short? Like, I don't know. Is this a 1 minute chart?
Yeah, that's the 1 minute one.
Yeah, on a 5 minute, I think it may have been different because I shorted around the same area, but the problem was this thing that I saw was in a 5 minute that the candle here volume was bigger than here.
Mm-hmm.
But still, this is not a trade that is. Always ask yourself, is this a trade that you're comfortable with? And you have to have your risk management down, bro. You have to have. So even if you don't use hotkeys, try to have a hotkey escape button where you
Yeah.
press it. And Trade Zero, it's a button that's called exit all or clear all, like close
Yeah,
position or
yeah,
something.
that's the one. I've
Yeah,
seen that, yeah.
I have that as my escape. I know sometimes it's weird because we often
Mm-hmm.
use that. I use that, so it becomes very normal. If your risk management is good, you'll be good. And I've said this
Yeah.
before a billion times, and I'll say it again. There are people that are so smart with fundamentals. They have so much. They track data. They do fundamental. Statistical people actually do better with risk management, which is why I think it's a beautiful thing, even though I don't do it. For
Mm-hmm.
beginner traders, definitely good. So it's not really about knowledge. Number one key thing, bro, is risk management.
Yeah.
So okay. So here, one problem I see, as I mentioned, is uh, you're scalping. Scalping in a halt fest, and you said where your stop should be. Your stop should be. Do you know how to calculate R? Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So, but just to clarify,
Mm-hmm.
in a situation like this, when it's a halt fest, you should account for the top being your stop, but at the same time give it room for slippage. So you have to reduce your share size.
Yeah.
Theoretically, if you're risking uh, $200 in that trade, or if it's 100, the quantity, the dollar value doesn't matter. But
Yeah,
if it's
exactly. Yeah.
$200, what you would do is, I can't see how long this is, but it would be this, and you would give it 20-30 cent slippage, but you would still stop out there. You should have a hard stop or something like that. Um, that's what it should be.
Yeah.
If you would ask me, bro, tell me the exact place, or somebody comes and tells me, you know what, based on statistics, if you top stop out above this first red candle, 2 cents above, it's very likely that it's going to break the high of the other candle. Even if somebody gives me all the statistics, it's still an idiotic move to risk a dollar amount that I'm uncomfortable with.
Right.
So a
Exactly.
lot of the times, this is a problem that you will have down the road, which would be a composition of I don't feel comfortable with taking this much loss.
Mm-hmm.
People freeze. Sometimes it's one of my bad habits, and I think it's one of the other bad habits that other traders have. Is is sometimes when the loss gets too, and you should never do that. You should just I never ask, unless all my losses are relative. Uh, so it's a lot. What's more important than stopping out? Of course, stopping out is important. Is stopping out at a dollar where you don't care. To be honest with you, even if it's something as low as like $10, $15, if you're just doing this for practice, you have to have it at a level where you have to accept, not just verbally accept, you have to accept it from the bottom of your heart that if this is the risk that you're putting on,
Yeah.
you have to accept that risk. If you don't accept that risk, you will become hesitant. You will
Mm-hmm.
become, you'll be like, man, it's gonna maybe fake people out and then bring it back. You have hope, you have this. But if it's such a small dollar amount compared to your account, if it's like 2% or something small, whatever minor, it's you adjust that. I can't. I'm not in your shoes. You adjust that size, your trading performance will get better. But of course, like this is the next level stuff after your playbook.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me, this is a playbook. Anything else any other playbook that you think you would want to work on, or you have any idea that I can maybe build on?
Yeah, I'm just building it with some samples, and let me see. I've noticed some stocks they just do 3 legs to squeeze and then they fail. Well, still that depends from the volume too. I mean, can go further, but if I say it, I find it like a better setup like this one that we're already looking.
That
Uh,
my friends have said that too, and I do agree that to be right. Sometimes it's two, sometimes it's three. When it halts the
yeah,
second, third time, it tends to fail. But is this a viable strategy? It could be. I
no,
don't know. I don't. I mean, it could be. Who knows? As long as it makes money, it makes money. But you definitely
exactly.
be like you have to be ready to put like a very very small R because in trading, what is the difference between a trader and a gambler? We know what our risk is. When you're at a stock that halts from the second halt to the third halt, that's a really big move. I wish I could see it to the right, but I can't.
Yeah, I
And
know what you mean. I mean, yeah,
but
and
I hear what you're saying. Third halt, second halt, quote unquote tends to fade. It fades until it doesn't
yeah,
fade, then the account blows up, and then it's like fuck.
exactly. I mean, but that you have to take the risk. I mean, that's the game we're playing at, and yeah, you have to be.
Take the risk where you have control.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
yes, definitely. But yeah, I've come to a conclusion that you can't guarantee 100%.
No,
It can
you
go against you, and this is what it
always,
is.
always. That's why we only put in that trade what we're really comfortable risking.
Yeah, I
So
know.
we talked about one of the other playbook was if a stock after day 5, day 6, um, I'm gonna try to show you another example. Day 5, day 6, it pops up and then it goes into previous days resist previous days volume. So let's see if we could
Okay,
find
now
something.
this is like the worst stock. I lost some money on this one, so
CODX?
yeah, I
Yeah.
think it is that candle. Yeah, that one, or the
Yeah.
like
So here's an example. May not be a best example, but in this day it goes up, and because I've done this for so long and because I see the candle bodies, I can tell the volume profile is between 18 and probably all 15, something like that. So when it gets here, if it starts topping out, then you wanna. This is another one of the plays that I mentioned. You wanna short it. So you see a bunch of the times it gets here, rejects, it gets here,
yeah,
rejects. So you wait until it starts topping out, and then you could. So the same concept. It goes into uh, previous resistance, and then you short the pop. The less you play, the better, and the risk management has to be on top. So that's one playbook.
hmm. I'm just looking like if it goes parabolic, for how many minutes it might go, and I've tracked that if it's a good one, might go 6, 8, or 9.
6, 8, 9.
But
What?
yeah, yeah, green candles, like fucking just green candles swiping up and up and up and up and up. I mean, I don't know. It might reach the skies, but I don't think so. It's not. You have to take your chances, I guess, if you're working on the front side. And it has some good. I've got some good knowledge from those chat rooms, to be honest. Because yeah, but yeah.
Uh,
Anyway, let's not go there because it's not the
no, I
topic.
want to say something about that,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course, yeah.
and I may be completely wrong, but I'm gonna give you my advice anyway. Shorting a parabolic stock, a lot of the times, you know who Ozark Trade is?
Yeah, I've heard them. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've learned from him, man, that you gotta don't add to a loser. Um, so shorting parabolic, some people, he's back on Twitter. This is his new one. You guys should follow him if you want.
Yeah, he just opened it. I followed him
Yeah.
immediately. Yeah,
So, bro, I respect him a lot, and adding to a loser, in my opinion, especially if you're starting up and you're not profitable, is horrible. It's a
it is.
horrible, horrible, horrible idea because it just with short selling, it takes one loss and you're fucked. So, from the bottom of my heart, um, I know, you know what? Statistical traders would probably take a shit on me, get pissed.
Mm.
But to find a metric where it goes up six candle, seven candle green, that's not feasible,
No,
bro. I've been trading for
no, no.
12 years. It's not feasible. Some guys at hedge funds, you know, they see how far it is from VWAP, which has some merits. Like you look at the ATR, the average ATR, and if it's 10 ATR away from the VWAP, which incorporates some emotions, it may have some variables. But the point is, uh, the way I would do it, this is my
Okay.
preferences. I I've been trading for a long time, so I may say this and I may not do it. But even in here, I would still, if I'm wrong on my entry, I try to cut
Mm-hmm.
it. But I wait. I'm like, I try to be super patient. I'm not, so if we look at this going parabolic, I'm not gonna short here at 1080. Do you see my screen still?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm not gonna short 1080s. It gets to 11, 12, 15, and it washes. I'm not gonna short here. I'm not gonna short here. I'm not gonna short here. I'm not gonna short. If I do this 10,000 times, it'll take one time. One time, because in your head, maybe people are smart and maybe they calculate what their R is, but it's like you add. One time, you're down 50k, 60k. Your account's blown. So what my mindset would be if I were to play the parabolic short would
Yeah.
be, okay, let's a realistic example. See this, I see a resistance at 12. Okay, I'm gonna take it's gonna go over. If I was perfect and I was calm, level-headed, I'll be like, okay, I see a resistance over 12, gets above 12, and it comes down. I will short like 10, 11, 980, 1194, 99.
Mm-hmm.
I would short that, and then my risk would be 1240, 1240, and then I would cut it.
Right.
I would cut it, and you know what? It would push, and I would come back, and that's what I would do as opposed to add to a loser. This is a Adding to a loser is the number one reason why you would blow up. So parabolic short, being very blunt, very rude, throw that if you're gonna go on the basis that it goes up six seven candle, throw that shit out the door. In my
Yeah, yeah,
opinion,
yeah.
it doesn't work. That doesn't work.
It's already there, but yeah, I was testing it, but yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry. Go ahead, test it. But in my opinion,
No, it,
throw
but
that
yeah.
out. But parabolics definitely has a move in its play. But you have to be cautious if you're starting up. How is it going to work adding to a loser? You can't tell your brain. Your brain is a habit. You adding to a loser and it works in another play that you're trying to short and you get stuck here and then you add to a loser here and it goes down. You're like, okay, I'm going to add here again. You're adding to a loser and then it blows you off here and then you lose
Yeah, that
money.
happened exactly what you're saying.
But why did that happen?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
No, 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 one sec. Because I was trying to give you an example of what will happen in the future.
Mm-hmm.
What happened here? I didn't know that that happened to you, but I
I
predicted that's going to happen in the future. Now let's talk about why the fuck did that happen? Because the brain is, if you played parabolic short in the past, have you added to a losing position in parabolic?
yeah.
So you have conditioned your brain to work in that sense. You know what? Like it's different. If you've been trading for a long time and things like that, you have worked. But stuff like this, and correct me if I'm wrong. Was this one of your biggest losses that you took on the bigger end?
Yeah, it was, yeah, based on my account. I mean, yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
And that is what I'm trying to tell you is what I was explaining here that will happen. And this is not me being a psychic or something. If you have that behavior of adding to a loser, given your experience, it will happen again. And you know what will happen the next time, bro? You will blow up your account.
I agree. And yeah, we have to preserve that account because it's not easy to just put money in every time you fucking goes to zero.
So, as I appreciate what you did for me today, uh,
Oh, it's not.
and make it a get rid of adding to a loser.
Yeah.
Don't give a shit what people say. Don't give a fuck. People will probably hate anybody that watches it. Like, I don't know, but it's not something that you should be doing. You're conditioning your brain, bro, to be adding to a loser. So
Hmm.
you can't, even if this was not a parabolic short play, because you're conditioned to add to a loser, it will fuck you up. And sometimes even if you had a 500k account, um, I know somebody that lost 34 million. I don't know them personally, but one of my friends that I talk with, one of the guys lost 34 million dollars in Tesla. It's
Okay.
But the whole point of the story is it's all about behavior and conditioning. So please get rid of this adding to a loser position. You want to play parabolic short? Play parabolic short. How do you want to play parabolic short? Another
Yeah.
way that I can suggest you that's risk free is you're still at the chart. So you see 1430s,
Yeah. Hmm.
1430s, and it goes low and it makes a higher high, right? You see this?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to tell you this. This play, you would have gotten stopped out. But if you take this trade 10,000 times, it would work. Okay? Sometimes it's not about if you made money or lost money.
Hmm. Hmm.
So you see this 12:15, it goes up. It's not the right time. You always want to short near the end anyway. But let's just stick to this. So here it goes up, it goes low, it makes a higher high. The problem is it didn't make a higher low. Okay? I try to anticipate that, but the point is I see this, it washes and then it comes back. Here it doesn't wash, it doesn't go below the previous candles and things like that. This is still a riskier play. It hasn't made a higher low, but it did here and it trapped and it ripped them. So here I would take a trade. So if I'm playing this parabolic, I would take a trade here, and then my risk would be 1422, 1430, something like that. And if I don't cover here, I would have a break even trade, or I would even stop out. This trade, if you were to take 10,000 times,
Hmm.
you would have a higher probability of success.
Yeah.
So always, I if I had other examples of parabolic, you will see at every single parabolic, brother, it would have a higher high and sometimes a higher low. Even here, when it went up, you see it broke the high of the day, it came down and it made a lower high from here and even lower high here at 19.
Yeah.
You could take that short there. Um, so that would be a safer way to pair a parabolic, especially for new.
Yeah. I'm just trying to avoid everything that is because these fucking just algos all plays, and that's why I'm not playing them at the moment,
Bro,
at least.
algos are everywhere, man. Small cap,
Yeah,
big cap.
exactly. I mean,
But the problem is,
high volume ones, let's say. Yeah. It's,
yeah, big caps is just it's not as like it tends to go up and down. Small cap, once it kind of sometimes if it kind of picks a direction, it just tends to go decent amount.
mhm.
Whereas Apple and other stuff, it goes down a little, comes back up. Anyway, okay. Any other questions that you have, brother?
No, I mean you're clear with the entry and the way you're playing them, and yeah. Uh, no, at the moment, I mean this is a bit like a. I've not been prepared, but can't see anything. What's the most important? Because I mean, at the moment we're talking about price and the chart and the volume. Anything else that we should bear in mind, like I don't know, fundamentals or something that is very
Number one.
strong.
There's a number one thing, bro. Number one. It's above
Yeah.
all. Above every fucking thing. 100% is risk management. If
Yeah.
you're a day trader, you learn the living shit out of risk management.
Hmm.
Number two is volume. Volume analysis, where the volume is. Number one, risk management. Number two, volume. If you master the art of risk management, You will be fucking golden.
Yeah.
1000%, bro. I guarantee
Yeah.
with everything I have.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
100%. There's not a single doubt question in my mind. There's no such a thing as golden shortcut, but
Yeah.
there is. It's risk management. It's the fucking king.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else, brother?
No, bro. It's we could just yeah.
Okay, I appreciate you helping me, and thank you
Thank you too for
for coming
everything.
on. It was
Not a
it's
problem. I
really
mean,
it's really good to when I talk to you. I also I also still learn. I also reinforce what I'm saying, and it was very kind of you to genuinely just approach and want to help. So thank you very much for being a good person, and thank you for coming on. I wish you the best.
thank
Hopefully
you.
everything works out, and yeah,
Thanks, bro.
anytime. Have a wonderful day, brother.
You too. Cheers.
Take care. Bye.